Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and my Substack, Transparent Conversations, Elevated Exchanges, and I call this The Frame. So we're going to just be talking about what's happening with this current regime that we have in office, this rogue this rogue element that we have in the White House right now that seems to be hell bent on destroying everything that was built up over the last few years with the liberals. I guess you could say a liberal democracy. They want to destroy that now because they don't feel as though, according to J.D. Vance, they don't feel like they can just be white and not have to apologize for it. It's too woke for them. It's too woke for them if you have to recognize other people of different races, different backgrounds, different cultures. It's just too woke if you want to actually listen and talk to women about their bodies and their lives, and allow them to make decisions about if they want to work or not work, or have kids, or abort a pregnancy. We have to have the government involved in that. It's too woke to allow that to happen. It's too woke to listen to your children who may be having problems conforming with their body. They may feel like they don't belong in the body that they have, and there's science to prove that. But this is too woke. It's too woke to believe that we have climate change, and maybe we need to get off fossil fuel. That's too woke to talk about. It's too woke to talk about the fact that billionaires have been running a pedo ring, a sexual frenzy for years, involving most of the elites around the world. It was just more than that. It was sex, influence, money. They were discussing. They were discussing actually getting us here right now. So that's too woke for us to realize that we're being played, right? We're being played, and so I actually been trying to get this done since last week. I've been doing like 2 episodes a week, and then I write 2 essays a week and do 2 essays. But ever since Saturday, when the Super Bowl being on Sunday, and I'm just going to talk about what's happening right now. Oh, who am I? I'm CPJR. I'm Calvin, or CPJR, or if you know me, or CPJR 300 if you feel me. Welcome to my pod. If you like what I do, please take a moment to, I don't know if I got the right one anymore. Please take a moment to like, share, subscribe to the channel, or the Substack is free. Just trying to build a community of like-minded people that want to discuss the things that I like to discuss. Right now I'm discussing politics and trying to understand exactly what's happening with this country and how we got here. Because I didn't vote for any of this. I don't think, in fact, not many people of my shade, black people voted for this. We're woke. That's it. Basically, we just woke, and we kind of understand that this is not a good situation to be in. Trusting. I'm gonna tell you something about. I'm gonna go a little bit back about community growing up. I'm in the DMV, right outside of Washington D.C. on the south side, southeast D.C. side, and it's a thing that we talk about. Around here is don't get caught slipping. So basically, if you voted for President Trump 3 times, 2 times, or 1 time, you got caught slipping because you weren't paying attention to what's going on, right? You wasn't woke, so you getting what you got. But the problem is, this is a country, so we're getting what you got too, right? So we're trying to hopefully wake some people up, and I think more people are becoming woke because of the constant amount of violence that we see in the streets. Still happening in Minneapolis. Nothing has changed there. They say they drew down. I think it's just a matter of now we just kind of see it happening, and we saw it happening, and it's just still happening because of the personal quota that was set forth by Stephen Miller. That's impossible for them to reach. So they have to just crawl through the streets, catching as many brown people as they can, or just catching people going to court for because people are in the country. Like I said, the way they frame this is that everybody here is an illegal alien, and that's not true. We have undocumented immigrants, documented immigrants. We have asylum seekers, and we do have some people that entered the country illegally a long time ago, which we've seen in the video that I posted of Ronald Reagan talking about how I'll pull something up right quick. How immigration is good for the country, diversity is good for the country, and then slowly but surely they were, I'm going back in history, slowly but surely talking about a pathway to citizenship, because people have been here as long as I've been alive in the country, and they built lives, they have family, they've been very productive members of our society, and we shouldn't. It's not wise. It's dumb to throw them out. It just doesn't make any sense. There's some kind of hate going on. So, we're basically getting down after we have been through this for 1 year. We're basically getting down to seeing that it's not going to get better. It's just going to get worse. Even with the people that have passed, that have died due to violence related to being involved with ICE, the Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement. I don't know, whatever, the agency, department. But those federal agents are very, very, very quick to violence, and they don't care. And as far as they think, well, they know right now, as long as President Donald Trump is in office, that they're immune. They don't have to worry about they don't have to worry about any of ever being caught or locked up. The people that have been identified, these lovely people, these lovely people here. These are Alex Preddy, Renee Nicole Good, Keith Porter, and Geraldo Luca. Geraldo, I have a name right here. Sorry, Geraldo Luca. His name is just showing us. But he was a man that was 3 were shot by ICE officers, all sketchy details. 2 on camera. And Keith Porter was shot by an off-duty on New Year's Eve while he was out celebrating like everyone else. They shoot guns in the sky, and he didn't. I guess I don't know what happened. You have to talk to him, but they haven't. I don't know who. I think we have his name, but they haven't arrested him. They aren't investigating it, and just today, I guess we could talk about the Epstein files. They've been coming out more and more. So I realized something after last week, after what happened, when they, the 2 things that the president did, I'm gonna play videos about this to distract us from what's really going on. The Epstein files are horrific. They're getting more horrific. It was more than just sex with minors. It was more than just pedophilia. It was a sex ring, maybe a snuff ring. People were tortured. Women were tortured. Women, probably young women and young men were tortured. It's something like the movie, what was that movie? Eyes Wide Shut. Apparently, that movie was trying to tell us something, and that director or whatever, Cubic, he died right after the movie was finished. So it's like there's something going on with the elites, right? The elites, the people we call, and they're not all elite. There's also a documentary you should watch on Netflix. It's called The Family. That's been in the headlines, and there's a whole little secret church thing they got going on. It's associated with the national prayer breakfast they have once a year. They have those all over the world, and then including adversaries, Russia, and then when they have one, they'll invite people all across from different countries, different groups, and there's a lot of underhanded shady shit going on with those people. But they just believe they can say the name Jesus Christ. We hear about lifting Jesus Jesus Christ, but and people are appointed to their position. So if they have an affair, you clean it up, you repent, but don't leave your position. Right? This is a very good documentary if you want to see the shady side of what's going on and how something like we had so many Russians involved in this election. They're all up in the Trump administration. They're very involved. This group goes to Russia to host prayer breakfasts over there, and then they come here to attend the prayer breakfasts there. They're in Africa. They're behind a lot of the persecution of LGBTQ people, because basically if they couldn't do it here, they're going to do it there to outlaw, LGBTQ marriages, people marrying out of love, but it doesn't fit their definition of what love should look like. So they couldn't outlaw it here. They're working on it again. So they move over there to Africa and mess up their world. Following Christianity, or what their vision of Christianity is. If it doesn't involve love, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm not going to condemn anyone, but I'm old now, so that's how I look at it. So let's get started. So there was like I said, the files will come out. There are 300 files. Some of the senators are being able to see 3 million files. I'm sorry. Some of the senators are being able to see the unredacted files. It's horrific. They started naming names. And I guess this has been going on since 2000, like 2000 and 2002, 2009, all the way up to 2025, and nobody's been to jail. So the names are coming out in Europe is in flames. They're firing people. People are being hauled in for investigations. People are stepping down for positions. United States, not so much. Nothing happening. It's not happening because one party, the most corrupt party, the party that this is going to damage the most right now, that's in office, is the Republican Party, and they just don't care. We're in the second year of this regime, and now things are falling apart. We got a jobs report today that said that 130 something jobs were added, but I don't trust that number. If we remember the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the person who was over the Bureau of Labor Statistics before, she let out a bad report, she was fired. So then he put in someone that he likes, and now you get a good report. I don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really. People are like, oh yeah, good jobs report. Where? Where? You know what I mean? Like, you can't trust anything coming out of this administration, because how you fired the last person. So now I guess the number coming out of it is bad. I'm gonna do something, because they revise the number all the time, up and down. Maybe somebody didn't answer, so we really don't know. It doesn't feel like it's still a robust economy right now. So I'm gonna go into. I'm going to play these videos, and these videos, I had them on Saturday. They're about the incident with the Obamas and the incident with the train. And I'm going to play these just because I want to, and they talk about Bad Bunny on Sunday. That was a good show, but I'm empathetic. I feel certain things, and I just felt like, this is bad. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't good at all. Like, this isn't gonna change. It's not gonna get better. It's not gonna be better. Because now, after everything is falling apart and he's losing court cases left and right, there is a chance that there's a chance he'll lose the midterms. I think we've already shut down that whole nationalize the election things, because the Constitution is clear. We know they don't care about the Constitution, but it's a big, huge leap to the midterms aren't centralized. It's not about the president. It's about our representatives in Washington, who will be which they forget, or they forgot because they were acting crazy the first year, that the legislative branch is a co-equal branch of the government, but because the Congress, the Senate, and House of Representatives were held by, or the Republicans were in charge, they haven't been doing anything. They gave up their power, and so now our entire country is focused on the midterms, and he is too. They've already. let's talk about that. So let's talk about the vote. So they had they stole those ballots. The ballots. They stole those ballots from 2020. Went down there and got the ballots from Fulton County in Atlanta, Georgia, and they had a sealed affidavit. They had to open and unseal the affidavit, and we got to see exactly what was happening. There was no charge. There was no charge in there. There was suspicion. The same thing, the same people who went after the 2020 election then and had those 60-something cases and lost every case are the same people who somehow convinced a judge to give them the ballots. So they're trying to prove something that's already been disproven with the same people who've already been disproven, lost, who have been shamed, who've been locked up in jail. The same people. So it's like they shouldn't have gotten the warrant. So there has to be something done. That judge needs to be under investigation because there wasn't any probable cause. They didn't present any new information to allow that to happen. So it's all a plan to get. This is all about right now. The whole thing is about voter suppression, right? That's the plan. That's the play. Voter suppression. Everything they're doing now, along with the SAVE Act, is also voter suppression. Now, that's what's really happening, right? But all this other stuff, like the video I'm going to play now from the weekend, and I know it's like this has already been. Everything changes like every 2 hours, so I know this has already been played and talked about, and he didn't apologize for it. He said it was an accident, but to me, that wasn't the most important part of that video of showing the Obamas as apes. The most important part of that video was it was the same. It was another conspiracy video about the elections of 2020. As far as he's concerned, he didn't lose it, and he's going to spend the rest of his life trying to convince us that he didn't lose it. There's no proof that he won it. So I think I want to just also say one more thing before we go to the video. There was a Pam Bondi was on Capitol Hill because basically whatever they're doing with these files and they aren't redacting them properly. They are showing victims' names. They're redacting, and they're showing they're redacting the suspects, the perpetrators' names, the people who actually engaged in the pedophilia and the sexual abuse of minors, and whoever knows what else. Those names have been redacted, so those names are now made public. And so they called her up on Capitol Hill to testify, and I swear to God, I figured it out, man. She is. I don't even know how she got confirmed. She basically called one. I goes the House. Yeah, one congressman, a loser, and I don't watch her talk anymore. So she just, because I say I'm empathetic. It just that stuff doesn't makes me sick to even think about somebody on Capitol Hill who's supposed to be representing the country as the highest. She's the highest lawyer or highest. She's the Attorney General of the United States, so she's supposed to be defending the United States against crime, right? Persecuting maybe a spy or someone who in government who steals a lot of money. That's her job. That's what she's supposed to be doing, and the FBI is supposed to be investigating those things. She's not doing that at all. And they had people in the hearing sitting behind her in the Epstein file, victims. She doesn't acknowledge those people. She doesn't care about those people. And then she just didn't answer any questions, just yelled at congressmen all day. And that's their tactic. So if you know anything about Star Wars, they're the Sith, right? The Sith comes in twos. And I already know that for me, this guy, Trump, is a Sith, right? So he has an apprentice. He's a master and an apprentice. And this is not the right one. And this is the apprentice. She looks like the apprentice. She looks just like Palpatine when they killed Mace Windu and used that lightning. What was it called? Force lightning for the first time, and it aged them. This woman looks like she is aging in front of our eyes. This is a picture of her in the hearing today. And she looks vicious and unhinged. And I cannot believe that that's somebody that we have representing the country and is supposed to be representing me and you against crime and protecting us from crime, fraud, all that kind of stuff. She has no interest in that at all. Her one job is to protect the president. They keep trying to indict people. They can't get indictments. And it's just a circus. It's a circus now. So I'm going to play this first video. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly so we can get to what I actually wanted to talk about.
In the fight over funding for the Gateway Tunnel project
This is the Gateway
between
Tunnel.
New York and New Jersey. President Trump has announced that he will consider restoring the money for the tunnel if Penn Station is renamed in his honor. Meanwhile, that very important project could be forced to a halt today if the money doesn't come through. Eyewitness News reporter Phil Tate has the latest developments.
Good afternoon. New York and New Jersey's battle against the Trump administration begins, and that's as they'll go before a federal judge looking for billions of dollars of federal funding to be restored for this Gateway project that would double the number of rails between New York and New Jersey. The Trump administration has frozen $16 billion in federal funding as construction could come to a halt today. President Trump told Chuck Schumer last month he was prepared to drop his freeze of billions of dollars for the infrastructure project under the condition the Senate Minority Leader agreed to rename Penn Station and Washington Dulles International Airport after Trump. This morning, lawmakers representing both sides of the Hudson met to speak about their fight.
What he's doing right now
by
holding this project hostage is elevating project costs, putting over 1,000 people out of work immediately, threatening over 90,000 future jobs, and undermining the daily commute of hundreds of thousands of Americans who continue to be frustrated by the infrastructure of this region.
And Donald Trump has taken the future of one of the busiest rail routes in the country and tossed it to the side. Why? Because simply he's having a temper tantrum in a moment.
The Gateway project has been years in the making, as digging was to begin in just weeks and construction could come to a halt if funding isn't restored. The two states looking for a judge to declare the funding suspension is unlawful and order to resume payments immediately so construction can continue without interruption. Take a look at this. The press office for Governor Hochul posting this photo to the web, which appears to resemble his Fifth Avenue property.
That tower.
This time it says, quote, Hochul Tower, along with the caption, counteroffer. Now, happening in the next hour, the fight goes back to Lower Manhattan. That's as both states look to get a temporary restraining order against the federal government, stopping funding on the project. We're outside of Penn Station. I'm Phil Tate, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
So there's no real reason for him to actually want to stop the project. Putting his name. Does he really want his name on it, or does he want to just keep attention off of other things? I don't see why he would just want to put his name on it. He knows they're not going to give in. They're not going to do anything. But here's the problem: it's not just a nuisance thing, right? This is about people's jobs. Those people aren't going to be getting paid soon until it works its way through the courts, and we see how slow the courts can be. That money was appropriated by Congress. It should be flown without a problem. He shouldn't be able to just stop it. He shouldn't even want to. How does him wanting his name, why is him wanting his name on Dulles Airport and Penn Station more important than those people working to feed their families? See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying about this billionaire thing. We need to understand that this isn't a game, but he's playing a game because it doesn't affect him. He already said he doesn't. Grocery was a quaint word because he goes to his refrigerator, there's food always there, or he orders it and somebody brings it to him. He doesn't have to shop. He doesn't have to deal with a budget. So that was one of the nuisance. This has nothing to do with nothing. You see, it's nothing serious. He just stopped it because he could, and then it stops you from talking about what's he talking about? Epstein files. So,
family, according to these public,
I'm sorry.
The White House deleted a video posted on President Trump's Truth
So this is the one about the
that included
apes.
a clip depicting former President Barack Obama and his wife Michelle as apes. The roughly 1-minute video, which appeared on Trump's Truth Social account late February 5th, was mostly focused on claims of vote rigging in the 2020 election. When suddenly
I'm not gonna play the whole video, but that's basically number two. So it was like a Thursday 1-2 punch. First it was the stopping the Gateway project, and then it was playing this video, and that's what everybody was talking about for 2 days. And then by the time Sunday rolled around, it was about the counter the 2 Super Bowl halftime shows. So we had to spend. I'm gonna tell you like this. I probably would not have. I don't watch football. I don't watch sports. I probably would not have watched the Bad Bunny halftime show. I didn't watch the Kendrick Lamar halftime show last year because I don't watch halftime shows because I'm not a football fan. So, but I did watch that one because I wanted to see, because I already know, I've heard about Bad Bunny. I don't speak Spanish, but I've heard he's a big star. I follow him. A lot of the podcasts, hip-hop podcasts that I talk about, or that I see, talk about Bad Bunny. So it's my first time seeing him. It was a great show. It was a great show. Even though I couldn't understand Spanish, people were translating it, and it was a great show. Dude got talent. I can see why he's a superstar. But they're writing letters to the FCC about him now, and they want to, saying that it was sexual, gay sex. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with these people? They can't sit down and just enjoy a halftime show and posting things about it. No white people in the video. I'm like, Lady Gaga was in that video. She was in the halftime show, and I'm sure Lady Gaga is white. Ricky Martin was there. It was just a great show. It's a great to see, and I'm liberal, so we like to see different things. And for them, it's scary because it's different. Why can't they speak English? What are they saying about me? You could have asked. They told you. People are translating it, and he's talking about partying, having a good time. He's not talking about anything subversive. He's not trying to take over the country. The Puerto Ricans are actually in this country, so why wouldn't you want to learn about the life on the island and then life in New York? I enjoy life now. I like going to a bodega and getting some food. The whole experience in New York, I like it. When I go there, I don't know if I could live there, but when I visit, I have a good time. Just experiencing life as a New Yorker. All right, so those were the two. Those were the two distractions, right? Those were the two things, and then this is what's really going on.
According to these public reports, sold a 49% stake in their crypto company to a member of the Emirati royal family. They did so for nearly $500 million. We don't know every detail of this transaction. We do know that the Trump family received $187 million from that transaction, a payday, entangling the president's financial interests with a foreign country. And months later, we know that the Trump administration approved a crypto deal with the UAE that included transferring advanced U.S. technology and AI chips. Mr. Speaker, this is corruption, plain and simple.
Mike Johnson's the speaker.
It is the prioritization of personal profit over the national security interests of our country. The country we all love so dearly. It is wrong. It is immoral. And my colleagues on the other side of the aisle say nothing. Worse, some of them defend this conduct, notwithstanding that they know it is unlawful, that it is violative of our Constitution. We have an emoluments clause, Mr. Speaker, for a reason. The Foreign Emoluments Clause was one of the few provisions to survive and be transferred from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution in 1787.
So I'm gonna go on top of that right there, because basically this is showing this is happening. That happened last week. This is showing like this is what's really happening while he's talking about putting his name on buildings and stopping construction projects to have his name on buildings and posting conspiracy videos with AI videos of our past leaders, our past presidents and his wife. This is what they're showing, and the more and more you see it, the more and more I experienced this and see it on a regular basis, I understand what he's trying to do, and what he's trying to do is basically steal. It's a grift, right? Everything's a grift. The whole thing is a grift, right? The whole thing is a grift. I got some other videos I want to show about what's going on right now too, because it goes into the biggest grift of all, and the biggest grift of all that we're experiencing right now. And when I'm saying that, wow, this is going to be becoming more and more visible throughout this year, because there's only one thing to do, and that is to win the midterms, and then With the midterms, and then do what? Oh, and then impeach them, because it's treason. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a constitutional scholar, all this and that. But I really feel as though they are not representing the country. This mass deportation thing is just a grift. It's all about. They always, now online you see this, right? Nobody ever said nothing when Obama was deporting $3 million. Yeah, but we didn't see violence in the streets. We didn't see it. I mean, he was just doing it as they do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's an order to deport or order for someone to leave the country, HSI, which is Homeland Security Investigation, something like that. That's the people who go and find those people and get them out of the country, right? If someone commits a crime, they go to the court. They go to the court or the jail and get them, and there's a deportation order for them. They go to the court and they get those people out of the country. That's what they do. But now what's happening is, if you're caught, there were never going to be enough criminals. We already know that, right? Guess a given, right? But then they decided that the only thing for them to do was just roving bands of masked agents just stopping people and asking people for their status or prove that they're a citizen, which is something that's unconstitutional. Like I said, we as citizens, I said this before my last one, we as citizens should not have almost no contact with ICE, and don't go online to verify anything in the comments, because the arguments are crazy, right? Like the whole thing with the SAVE Act. I'm talking about that in 1 second. Something I got. Yeah, so the whole deportation thing now is like it's a plot. Now they're trying to build warehouses. They're trying to, and that's another thing that I think that we don't really understand the ramifications, or we don't understand the full extent of the people how bad they're suffering, because they were suffering the first time, how bad they're actually suffering in the detention centers, and they're dying. And now we've had a judge, or maybe it was 3 judges, actually support detaining without a date. They just can detain you, and the problem is if they aren't going through due process and have someone come before a judge after being detained, they accidentally detain a citizen, and you end up in one of those centers, you may not be heard from for months, because they aren't following any type of protocol. They aren't making sure you get in front of a judge that same day. If you go to jail for locked up for anything like something dumb, not to say DUI, but let's say possession of marijuana, something dumb, or speeding or something like that, you have to go. They have to take you before a judge, right? They just can't hold you until whatever. So when they get you detained, and I'm gonna play a video of an Irish guy that's been detained, and you're detained. They ask you to sign a paper so that you can self-deport, right? You could self-deport right away, right? Even if you're in the country legally, let's say they picked you up at court, you going in one of your court dates to either, meet some requirements or whatever, but it's to check, the judge checks on you, make sure you're doing okay, you haven't been locked up, you've been in the country for a while, you're just going to your court dates, you've been here, you're building a life. But now, if you go into the court, there's no deportation order. They just grab you and detain you, right? And now with these judges are running, they can detain you for any amount of time. Now, if you say that if you don't sign that paper, you could be in there for months, like this gentleman here.
Mire con migración con ustedes. Hay gente que estamos legales, gente que no estamos legales, gente que está perdiendo a su familia, nos están secuestrando, nos tienen en un depósito aquí en Baltimore, nos tienen en la 31 Hoskins.
So, I'm gonna
están golpeados en la cara. Los golpearon un señor.
So this is what I want to show last. This is actually the detainment room that has detainees. And according to another video I had, I gotta pull it up right quick. Give me 1 second to handle that. So basically, if you get caught and you're put in one of these rooms with no beds, there's no bathroom in there. There's no TV tables. There's a bench. There's no chairs, and then there's those little space type blankets supposedly keep you warm. That's it. That's yours for the whole time that you're there. Also, we come to find out that let me pull this other video. They also come to find out that the people there they don't clean the bathrooms. They don't clean the bathrooms. They want to pay people $1 or something to clean the bathroom. They won't pay for it. These are for-profit centers, right? They only care about the money. They don't care about the people in them that are being there for months. This is this is an Irish guy who was caught. He was just going. He's been in the country for a long time. I'm not sure why he became undocumented or whatever, but he was basically going to his court dates. He's married, has a business, been here. So that probably he's been in there for like 4 months in the same room. He's gonna explain to you how it is to be there, and he probably doesn't want to just go ahead and self-deport because he has a family here. He hasn't been to Ireland. He's from Ireland.
The best way I could describe it is probably like a modern day concentration camp. It's a bunch of temporary tents. There's probably room for 1,000 detainees in each tent. I believe there's like 5 tents. I've been locked in the same room now for 4.5 months.
4.5 months.
I've had barely any outside time. No fresh air, no sunshine.
Fresh, don't go outside, no exercise.
I could probably count on both hands the amount of times I've been outside. So just locked in this room all day, every day. We've got 2 TVs on the wall. We get 3 meals a day, very, very small meals, kid-sized meals. So everybody's hungry, everybody's tired. We've got no commissary. We've got no options to get extra food or anything like that.
You get commissary in jail.
The conditions here are filthy. The toilets, the showers, completely nasty, very rarely cleaned. I'm in fear for my life down here, honestly, because people have been killed by the staff here, by the security staff, and you just don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. You don't know if there's going to be riots. You don't know if there's going to be. You don't know what's going to happen. It's a nightmare down here.
It's a nightmare. So that's what you're seeing. That's what we're hearing about. That's what they try to distract us from. That's what's really going on. All this stuff that's going on in the White House is a bunch of crap because all they're trying to do is pass. They're trying to pass the SAVE Act, right? That's the play for the midterm elections. It's not about they can't nationalize elections. We already know that the Insurrection Act that's done. Those are all been ruled against. He can't use those easily unless there is a real insurrection or a real attack by someone else out of the country, because it's not coming inside the country, because we're not getting involved. Us, black people, we're not getting involved. Because we did the right thing the first time. What are we gonna do? Get killed for this? Y'all need to fight. But I don't know if that fight's gonna come. Legally, there's nothing that he could do other than what he's doing now, because the states control the midterms, states control the elections. The executive branch has nothing to do with the elections. So the play right now is the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act is basically if you register. I'm not sure. I've read it, but it doesn't say like I'm already registered. So what do I got to register again? I've already registered. I have a real ID. I'm a citizen. That's done. So what they're saying. Maybe if the women or if the law passes, women have to present their birth certificate to prove they're a citizen, but their birth name's not going to match their married name, and it's just voter suppression. And I would say to you, anybody that says to me that there's voter fraud, whatever, with the foreign people voting, where's the evidence? There's no evidence. Why are we having this conversation? Unless you can show me evidence, there should be no SAVE Act passed or SAVE Law Act passed. Nothing should change with our elections because our elections are secure. The only person that's questioning elections is the nut up in 1600 right now because he lost and he doesn't believe that he could lose. Based on what? The policies, the practices, our economy is going to crash. People are going to start selling the dollar soon. And if the dollar's not the reserve currency, it's a wrap for this country. It's going to be over, not good. Luckily, our economy is very large and it's holding on. But I don't know how long it's going to be able to hold on. You know what I mean? Now Powell is going to be leaving soon. We have a new chairman. We don't know. There's so many variables that are being introduced into the system that the system wasn't the tariffs. The system wasn't built to benefit everyone. It's benefiting the top. It's not benefiting us down here. They said basically the middle class is gone. It's gone. And they don't even care about it. They have no idea. They're so busy. But you know what? The Epstein thing is a lot because they were actually working. If you really want to pay attention to Bannon and Epstein, because they were having conversations about doing this exact thing, causing tribalism amongst us, and then we're fighting for scraps down here because really it's about class, it's not about race. Only people who think it's about race is the people who are racist. I mean, they say if I say racist, I'm a racist. No, I don't care about your race. At least leave me alone. I just want to be left alone, right? That's it. I don't think I'm superior to you. I don't think you're superior to me. I know you're not superior to me. I've worked with y'all, so it's like, but so we just gonna be left alone. That shit. No. Why does it keeps coming from when we see an injustice and we call it out, and then you say we're playing a race card. You know what I'm saying? That keeps us apart. But now it's all of a sudden changing. It's changing because the same treatment that we will be getting from the law enforcement, they're getting it from law enforcement. So they're saying like, oh my God, this is true. Yeah, we told you it's going to be true. Eventually it will start happening to you. You can't have people running around your country that are out of control, right? Law enforcement and getting away with it. So they keep getting away with it. They're not going to care. They're going to just keep doing it to everyone. If they could get away with it for the colored people for a long time, then all of a sudden they just got away with it with white people. All y'all on the menu. Everybody's on the menu because that's where they're getting their jollies from. Not jollies. I mean jollies. Yeah, jollies. So I want to read one section from when I wrote the article or the essay about Trump because I think basically we need to start ignoring Trump. Basically, not ignoring him, but just say do it. You know what I mean? Like go ahead and do what you're gonna do because most of the times you lose in court. Your whole crew is incompetent. The only person who's probably the most competent person in there is Stephen Miller, but he's evil. So we already see what he's doing. So in order to get him out, we gotta get you out. So that's what we need to actually worry about, him. And then whatever he does with his other stuff, like put my name on it, blah, 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 close the Kennedy Center, tear down the East Wing, that's all distractions. I don't know, because we already know what Trump is and is not. Trump is a liar. Trump is a criminal. Trump is a racist. Trump is a bit dumb. Trump is probably experiencing dementia. Trump's health is failing. Trump is a misogynist. Trump is a grifter. Trump is cruel. Trump is being handled. And that last part, Trump's being handled, that's what we need to concentrate on. Because if it's a real decision coming out, like even the Fulton, him going to get the Fulton County the ballots, that wasn't even for the 2026 election. That was for him, his ego. That was nothing. That was just another distraction from what's the important thing. That's basically trying to support Minnesota, who's going through hell right now as much as possible, and keep getting their story out and getting their pictures out and keep talking about these people in detention centers, getting their stories out, because that's a whole nother horrific thing. We don't even know what's happening, and not allowing them to build or buy warehouses in your state, because they're trying to buy one here. I think they did, but we're trying to stop that because we don't need a for-profit detention center here. We don't need data centers, and we don't need for-profit detention centers. Those are not things we need in Maryland. And so make your voice known. All right, that's it for now. So we are going to have a little music to get us centered. We got to get centered, right? Because this is going to be a long road. We need to keep, it's like I say, keep your eyes on what's happening, man. Pay attention to what's really going on, because all we want to do is get to the good times again. So this is Red Essence. This is Red Essence now, right? I used to go see Red Essence every weekend when I was a kid. That was my band. And I would go by myself, all up in Southeast, Northeast, Northwest. I try to think about how did I get there. I have no idea how I got there. But yeah, I'll be back when I get back. I don't know. When I write something. I think I'm not sure what I'm write about, but I will write about something. So hopefully, when I get back, I won't be. I don't know. I think I'm feeling some kind of depression. So I'm gonna fight through that and try to get back zeroed in on this mission. To keep letting people know about what's really going on and what we have to be doing. So what are we doing? Ignoring Trump, paying attention to the midterms, paying attention to what's happening with the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act should not pass. It's going to disenfranchise women voters on a level that doesn't even make any sense. And if they say anything to you, where's the evidence? If you show me the evidence of voter fraud, I'll get behind you. Other than that, I'm not. Leave it alone. All right, now, peace. I'm out. Y'all have a good one.